Mr. Big Shot, you finally went too far. You're so freaking big now that you're gonna pay someone to mow your lawn when you can do it.
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Make sure where you're putting your time and energy is something you want to do, not just because you're exploring with people you don't like, or a business you don't like, or a situation you don't like.
Rise and shine!
It's espresso time!
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I am not a morning person. I am not. But when you start your day with a powerful routine that inspires you, it will change your life. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and get ready for a shot of espresso from Dean Graziosi.
I wake up every morning. Espresso keep me going. I wake up every morning.
My first apartment house, it was an old rundown mansion.
Massive lesson here, everybody.
Yeah, it was an old rundown apartment house, a mansion, like, I mean, beat up, old big house. And I ended up getting a house for no money down, and I converted it into 10 apartments. So what was cool is I'd fix one up, I was living in it while I fixed it, and then as soon as it was done, I'd rent it and I'd move in one not done. But I got through all 10 of them.
Crazy.
So now I have this 10-unit apartment house. It's doing great for me. I'm 19, 20 years old. You know, it's bringing me in $5 grand a month net, which was a gazillion dollars, because now I'm living for free. Yeah. And this is, and plus it's building value. So I got no money down, refinanced it, pulled some cash out. I used that money to go into the next one. Long story short, had a huge lawn. So every Saturday, because my dad was born during the Depression, my dad grew up with, if you could do it yourself, you don't pay anybody, right? So every Saturday I'd spend 5 hours. I had a massive lawn. I'd mow. I have allergies, so my eyes are tearing. I'm weed whacking. You know, shit hits your legs, and it's just. And then one day I realized, wow, I'm mowing my lawn a whole day. I hired the kid down the street for $50 to mow my lawn, and he's mowing the lawn. My dad pulls in. True story, zero exaggeration. I tell it to my dad all the time. He's like, sorry, I was wrong. My dad pulls in. He goes, and this is how my dad talks to me, whether you think it's true or not. He goes, Mr. Big Shot, you finally went too far. You're so freaking big now that you're gonna pay someone to mow your lawn when you can do it. And he got so mad that he left and he hit the gas, and it was gravel driveway, and he dented the out of the side of my car. It was just like, dunk, 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 dunk. And I'm like, and he left, and maybe he gave me the finger when he was leaving or something like that. That's my dad. He's got an Italian hothead, right? And he left, and it was so profound that I knew at that moment I was onto something. I really did. I'd love to say it was this epiphany, and the sky opened up, and I was like, wow, my dad still struggles. And what I realized, and this is what I want to share with you, is I realized an ROI on my time. At that time, I had 15 apartments. I had 2 houses being built. I had a collision shop and a used car dealership. If I went down to the used car dealership and sold one car, I probably netted about $2 grand a car back then. I sold lower end cars. So in that day, without mowing the lawn, if I sold one car, it cost me $50 to mow the lawn, I made $2 grand. Or if I drove around that day and found my next apartment house, could be tens of thousands of dollars. And it just hit me. It was so profound at that moment that I'm going to start equating things I do with an ROI. It's like if and the great part is if you keep noodling it, it doesn't matter if something costs you $500 an hour. If you're working in your unique ability, you can make 10 grand an hour, still pay someone to do it.
You have Michael Jordan level genius at something. You are the greatest in the world at something. And it's probably not what your parents did or what you went to school for. It's sitting here somewhere deep buried and you don't believe that you can do it. But until you actually lean in on what you have Michael Jordan ability, genius at, until you actually start doing it, you'll never live the life that you're capable of. You'll constantly be doing what other people want you to do, living up to other people's expectations, meanwhile knowing that you're capable of more. I often get into fights, maybe not fights, discussions, maybe arguments with people about when they're making YouTube videos, for example. Thought leaders. I'm deeply passionate about helping more thought leaders get onto YouTube. I want to see your message out there because I believe that your message can change the world. I think your message can impact people's lives, that people like you, who you used to be, they need to hear your message and you're too scared to get it up there. And one of the biggest complaints or one of the biggest objections people have is, well, I don't know how to edit, I don't know how to film. And what they end up doing is you spend 20 minutes making a video, recording it, and then 5 hours editing it. what you're doing there is training the wrong skill. If you want to make a video like this, right? You're going to sit in your car. I'm still just making this video off of my phone, right? I just have can you see in my glasses? Maybe you can see. Look, I've got there we go. This is cool. Look, I've just got a little mini handheld, whatever, tripod, I guess. A selfie stick, more like it, and my phone. That's how I'm filming this video. That's it, sitting here in the car while my wife is in Costco shopping and getting some awesome food for us. If you spend 20 minutes making a video, filming it, recording it, and then 5 hours editing it, you're just training the wrong skill. You'll never get great at the thing that you have Michael Jordan level ability at. Now, if you said your ambition is to be the world's greatest editor, that's different. Congratulations, you're doing it. But if you want to be a thought leader, a speaker, an expert, you want to learn to make videos and be the front-facing person, then spending 20 minutes on something to actually improve your skill, that's improving your skill, making a video. But 5 hours editing it, you're just not wasting time, but you're stealing from your opportunity. You're stealing from your ability. You're stealing from your best self. Okay, well, what do I do, Evan? How do I then create? I don't want to put up something that's bad. The thing that gets you there is actually getting great at your skill, the Michael Jordan level skill. I'd rather you spend 5 hours making a video, doing it again and again and again and again and again and again and again, so that you don't need editing, that you're so good at the thing that you don't need editing. Because that's a skill that will serve you for life. Because when you go on stage, you don't get to edit yourself, right? There's no second takes. When you go on TV and you're being interviewed, when you go on people's podcasts, you're being interviewed. If you're teaching yourself that you're only good when you're edited. And that's not your Michael Jordan level ability. So I'd encourage you to look at your calendar, look at your schedule, look at what you're doing right now, look at how you're spending your time. How much of it is actually dedicated to the thing that you could be the greatest in the world at? And for too many people, it's not enough. For too many people, it's zero. You have ideas and hopes and dreams and ambitions and goals, but there's nothing in your calendar where you're actually spending time focused on it. The best thing you can do to set you up for a life of happiness, fulfillment, purpose, income, all of it, is to drastically change what's in your calendar, to spend more time developing your Michael Jordan level skill, ability, genius. Period. So that's step number one. Look at your calendar. Look what's happening this week and how much of your time is actually spent doing it. 2, you start thinking about, okay, I'm not great at these things, but they need to get done, right? Some of these things have to get done. First, you want to eliminate. If you don't have to do it, then don't do it. There's some things that you're doing that actually don't matter. There's some things that I'm doing that don't matter, that you think matter, but then when you analyze, like, that doesn't even matter. Nobody even cares if I do that thing or not, right? Just eliminate it. Don't give it to somebody else if it shouldn't even be done in the first place. You eliminate it. Then you automate it. So automate is look for ways to do it through software, through technology, through tools. Anything that I'm doing multiple times, like, okay, how do I make this more automatic so that I don't have to be doing this all the time? And if you can't eliminate it and you can't automate it, then you delegate it. And delegate is you give it to somebody. Give it to somebody who, that's their Michael Jordan level genius. Editing these videos, I have an amazing team. You know, Christina, hi Christina, is amazing. And that's her Michael Jordan level genius. She makes amazing videos. She can edit way, way, way better than I ever could, let alone than what I can do right now. And when you find people who they are the Michael Jordan level of the thing that you suck at, that's when you can really start to explode. Now you might not be able to afford them yet. So what can you do? Well, one, you get people who can volunteer, who can maybe do some kind of barter. Like, entrepreneurship is about being resourceful. What can you offer them and what can they offer you? What kind of trade can you make? If you have no money, what kind of trade can you make? Instead of saying, well, I don't have money to hire somebody, so I'm just going to do it myself. You have to start being more strategic. You have to start thinking, okay, what am I so fantastic at? What is your Michael Jordan level ability? And how can that be of value to somebody else that in exchange for me helping them, they can help me with this thing? That's how entrepreneurship works. The ones who really, really win, they're not the ones who do it all themselves. They're the ones who are resourceful to find ways to bring on a team, right? The ones who are ultra successful are not doing everything themselves. They're willing to go and do it if they have to. They're willing to do it if they have to. But they're not default thinking, I'm gonna do everything myself. So you find a way to barter, to exchange. And the second way is to start part-time. I think it's actually fantastic to start part-time. I think if you've never hired somebody before and you think, well, now I need to have 40, 50, 60, 70K to hire somebody full-time, it's just gonna take you way too long to get to that point. It'll take you way too long to get to that point in terms of building up your business because you're doing everything yourself. And second, when you have somebody, you will actually suck as a manager at the beginning, right? Where do we learn to be great managers? You don't learn it in school. You'll probably not be a great manager at the beginning. So I think the best way to get going is to actually hire somebody part-time. The first person I hired was for 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day. I hired them for 1 hour a day. One, they were better at the thing, it was doing database stuff, than I was. So it freed up an hour and a half of my time every day because he was better at it than I was. He could do it faster. And two, it also got me used to managing somebody on a small scale before being fully responsible for them, before I was their entire income and had to learn how to be a good boss, or good leader, a good manager, good mentor, good coach. I could play on a smaller scale and develop the skills. And so I think people wait too long because they feel like they have to have a giant budget. You could hire somebody for 1 hour a day. You know, instead of buying Starbucks, you know, I don't know how much this cost, $5, $4, whatever, right? Instead of buying Starbucks every day, you get 2 coffees, that's $8 to $10. You hire somebody for $10 an hour to do that thing for you. 1 hour a day, that frees up your time to go do other things. So I want you to start being more resourceful, to try to find other ways through instead of thinking, I'm by myself, I'm all alone, I can't do it. There's a famous expression that goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You have to build a team. Your mission is too big. Your purpose is too big. To make your dream happen, you have to focus in on your Michael Jordan level ability and to spend more time doing it. To stop spending time on the things that don't produce value and that you don't have a lot of interest in. And to start thinking about how can the people around me support me better? And if they're not going to support me, how do I find people who will? Because your purpose is too important.
Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? Put that down in the comments below. When you watch a video and just get inspired, the science says you have a 35% chance of following through. But if you get inspired and then create a plan of action for when, how, and where you are going to take action, your chances of following through jump to 91%, Believe Nation. It's not enough to just watch something. We got to create our plan. And when you commit publicly, that number jumps to 95% of you following through. Let's make that happen. Your biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week, put it down in the comments below so I can celebrate with you.
So what's up, man? It's good to see you. I see you all over the place. I see you hustling. Dude, your book, Built to Serve, you are built to serve. There's a difference when, you know, I've been an entrepreneur for over 30 years. I've been in the self-education industry for 24. Doesn't even seem possible. But there's a lot of people that when you kind of meet your heroes or you meet the people behind the book, a habits book, a Built to Serve book, a time management. It's like you meet the guy with the time management book and he's late getting on stage and stressed out of his mind in the green room. Like, there's no congruency is what I wanted to say. And before we chat today, I just want to honor you and give you congruency. what you wrote in this book is really who you are, man. You are built to serve. If you didn't check out Evan's Built to Serve, you should check it out. The truth is, I'm not all the way done. I freaking love it. My biggest problem is every book I read, Evan, I listen. I have such a hard time reading. I still have dyslexia. It still doesn't stick. So it's taken me longer. But when I actually read a book, it sticks. So highly recommend it. And it's just you. It's like it's having a 200-page conversation with you, which is always cool.
Cool, man. Appreciate it. Well, I also have an audiobook version. I read it myself, so there's always
dude, please send that to me.
So what is your decision-making process or thinking when it comes to investing your time, your money, your energy?
Sure. It's very important because time is the most valuable thing you have. Is one, make sure where you're putting your time and energy is something you want to do, not just because you're exploring with people you don't like or a business you don't like or a situation you don't like. Time is so valuable. Try and speak, if you're speaking to people or a situation, to people you feel there's hope for that you could do something with to do something great, not just make money. Whenever you go into business or in a relationship with someone just to make money, then it means you've already decided to take a portion of your time to make these papers that are backed up by nothing but will buy stuff. Call it a possession. We have all these great possessions. Well, if you have these great possessions, could you give them away? If you had any possession, you could give it away. Hey, great, it was a possession, and you moved on. If you can't give that possession away to somebody, just give it away. Then it possesses you.
If you want another amazing Dean Graziosi video, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
People say, how do you get so much done? How do you run a business and still coach Little League and baseball and stuff? How do you do all those things? It's because of just simple success habits.
You are what you consistently do.